Here's what happened. I have this fear that I've now realized I'm not alone in having it. And it's the fear of, can I actually handle what I want for the vision I have for my life, the success in life? Can I actually handle what that energetically feels like? The energy of stepping into that, who the hell I gotta be to be that person in order to have that be able to stay in my life. And so many times I've lost count how many times it has caused me to hold back in actually showing up courageously, taking the action needed in order to push forward and to do the damn thing for these big moments that come up in life. And I'll get into like what these big moments could be for you. But even recently, I looked back, I was like, oh man, in these past few months, like I've been trying to just stay above water is what it can feel like. I got a few different, few things coming in with the podcast to then on speaking, getting prepped for that. And then also with the other work on habits, like there's a lot of things moving. And I felt like I've been in this maintaining, like trying to feel comfortable in this space. And now just actually a few days ago, I had a big moment that came up where I actually pushed myself and got out of my comfort zone. And that reminded me of like how important it is for us to recognize these body sensations that I want to get into with you to prepare for those so that you can continue to step in more and more of these big moments in life. I think something that doesn't get talked about as much, and I want to find better ways to be able to share with you so it can make sense, is that we can be moving towards burnout when we feel like we aren't growing, where we feel like we're just like a little bit empty inside, and that just emptiness is starting to grow and grow and grow. And I don't want that to happen to you, where then that can create unnecessary suffering and we can go down the tornado thoughts that come up in our minds and go down these spirals where then you know, that anxiety builds and the stress builds and the overwhelm builds. And I don't want that to happen to you, where you are moving towards hitting burnout. So this one is going to be really powerful if you feel like you're in that stuckness right now in your life of just staying comfortable and you're ready for those big moments, or you do have a big moment that's coming up and you're like, how the hell do I make sure I can handle this energetically? And that comes back to the more you understand something, the less scary it becomes. This is Make Burnout Extinct. I'm Robert David Weeks. Thank you for taking the time to be here. Like, you'd be doing a bunch of different stuff right now. So I appreciate you being here. You may have had a lot of shit you've been dealing with before coming here, and you may have a lot of shit afterwards. But for right now, it's time to get present, and I'm here to deliver for you. So if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe and follow the show for the latest episodes, conversations. And I have a few commitments for you. One is to continue to grow this show. And by you subscribing and following, it helps to support that commitment. And then the other one is to be honest with you, of like truly of sharing the true experience, even when it's very uncomfortable, to be able to share it with you and owning my own mistakes when I make those, because those do happen. Perfection doesn't exist. And being able to make sure I continue to do that for you through this show. And then also to continue to improve as a storyteller, as a researcher for the information I'm gathering and I'm sharing with you, and as an interviewer for guests that come on and share their insights, all focused again on this mission to make burnout extinct for you and to be able to move towards creating these burnout-proof habits in your life. So thank you for being a part of this movement. Welcome if it's your first time. Today, what I want to get into is this getting out of the comfort zone, moving towards these big moments, preparing for them. Getting it gets me fired up to be able to talk to you about this stuff, because those big moments, I connect back to the aliveness of what it means to be a human being and to experience like these energetic waves that can come over you. I remember Sky, who actually was on the show, he talked about these waves that can come crashing and being able to ride those waves. And then actually another one that was on the show, a friend of mine, Zach, he talks about like having that awareness to realize you are the wave, like you are that massive energy that can be moving. And what I want to come back to is it can feel intense for those energies, those sensations in the body. And for me, that comes back to then the fear that I had, which was, can I actually handle this thing? Like, I fear that I'm going to explode. And Annabelle, who's on the show, talked about it too. For the like, she's mentioned it before, and I really resonate. Where it's that fear of like you're going to explode with all this energy, all of these sensations, these emotions. So if you are feeling like that, I want you to know that you're not alone. Of that fear of, can you handle this success and handle what's possible for your life? And what I want to tell you is that it's natural. It comes back to the body and recognizing that when something new comes into your life, and these big moments are new. So the big moments could be asking that person out that you really want to ask out on a date, to sharing how you truly feel to someone close to you and sharing something you may have never shared before to anyone. It could be in your career, having to step up and present in front of the group, and you've never done that before. I get it from public speaking. I get it from that sensations that can come up. So whatever your big moment is being able to come back to, with that new experience in front of you, it can create uncertainty for the body as a response. And with uncertainty, that can create then a fear response where the body wants to keep you safe. And so with the unknown of something new and the unknown of what the future is going to hold for you in your life, that can be scary. And so the body then wants to try to pull you back to your old ways and your old patterns. And this is where a lot of times people stop going after these big moments. You can get these sensations that come up that I'm going to get into, 5 specifically for you, that can make you, it can make the whole body and experience intense and overwhelming. And there's a few other different emotions I can get into that I'll share a little bit later. But what it can do is cause us to stop, of continuing to show up, of continuing to put in those reps. And I do come back to, the more you understand something, the less scary it is. And so by sharing these body sensations and recognizing that they are natural for them to come up for you, I think could really help you to continue to move forward, to continue to show up and put those reps in. Because then by putting in those reps of taking action and doing the damn thing for these big moments, and then I'll share, I've taught about this before for a habit, and then celebrating that win of taking action, it's going to help get the body more comfortable with big moments. And what it will do is remind the body that you want more of this stuff. It creates a reward system, which then can help you to continue to grow in so many different areas of life. And then you get to that level where it opens up doorways of possibilities that you never thought were where you never could imagine. And I'm starting to get glimpses of that in my own life of, oh yeah, shit, I didn't even know I could step up and be that type of person. So I do want you to know that it doesn't happen overnight either. So that's really important. It does take time for this, to put in those reps and to work through this. But when it comes to the body sensations, that's going to be a great place to start. So I'll go through 5. I then want to share with you 3 important reminders to help you out as you're going through this process with these big moments. And I'm going to have some space at the end for you to visualize what are those big moments coming up for you, even if it's ones that you like hope are going to be coming up into your future, or the ones that are actually coming up here like next week or tomorrow, and be able to give you that space to prepare for it. So first, the body sensations. I don't have any I don't have any fun, clever, silly names for these. So it'd be cool. You can actually send me a message on either Instagram or LinkedIn, where it'd be cool if you have like a creative name for these. But the first sensation that I want to get into is the buzzing sensation. So you can experience this. It can start in the head, or it can start in the gut, and then it kind of expands out and it becomes this overwhelming buzzing sensation. And you think about it like bees, like flying all around your body. And so you can get into this buzzing mode where it's just, it can feel, it can go back to the intense feeling. Like you may not be used to the buzzing sensation. So you're like, what the hell is this? Like, what the fuck is going on right now? And that can cause you to think something is wrong, where you're like, okay, I got to stop doing what I'm doing and go back to old patterns, rather than continue to move forward and courageously stepping into these big moments. So that may come up for you as that buzzing sensation. And it does get to the point where it can become like a full body buzzing. With all of these, what's important to understand is as you move into taking action, does it change the sensations for you? So that's something else to think about, is when you take action towards these big moments and actually step into it courageously and not hold back, do you notice it changing for intensity, for where it registers in the body? That's really helpful to recognize that, oh, okay, when I do that action, I notice the changes. This is because this sensation is that fear that can come up of, can I handle this stuff? And that's going to help you to do a double confirmation of like, oh, okay, this is natural because I'm just experiencing a big moment. So I hope that makes sense to you. That's the first one, is the buzzing. The second one is then the tingles. You can start to notice tingling sensation, and it can feel like icicles. It's like a way to think about it, little tiny pinches, and that can start in the stomach, also in the mind, also in the head, in the head, or even in the fingers too. You can notice those sensations of fingers, and what that can it can feel cold. Then you can get cold in the hands. That's happened for me before, as well as my feet, and then it can expand out from there. So that is one that goes back to, it can feel intense, and you can be like, what the hell's going on? It's recognizing, okay, icicles, like, let me keep showing up, take the action, and notice if there's changes in the intensity. The next one that I want to get into with you is the, I just had it and now I lost it. What was it? Coming back to it. It's coming back. Oh yeah, the shakes. You can get shakes in the body. So with the shakes, for me, it starts, if I remember, I'm trying to like reflect back, where does it start for me? I really notice in my shoulders, like that's an area that comes up. So you can notice in the shoulders where they're moving, and then all of a sudden it can go down the arms. Those can shake a little bit, and then down into the stomach. That's like another spot. And then, I mean, legs, definitely. Like you can have like the tapping of the legs too. That can start happening. And these shakes, what used to happen in the past is I try to suppress it. So I try to suppress the shakes and push it down. That could be something that you've been trying to do, is like, oh, let me just like push these down. I'll deal with them after this like big moment, especially stepping up on stage and doing a presentation. But what I want to remind you is that if you push it down, the body's just going to try to find other ways to get louder, because it's a way that the body's communicating with you. It's recognizing that this is a big moment. It's creating uncertainty, which can cause the shaking feeling where you're just shaking. Like I think about, like as a little kid, looking at like a dark attic. I remember this actually, with my cousins. We were all like, went up to in this old house. We went up the stairs and we saw the attic door. It's like this wooden door opened up, and like you're shaking as you're like trying to like peek into this. Even when my cousins, like, they try to like, if I remember right, they were like trying to push me into that attic, and I was like, absolutely, I was like, fuck no, I'm not doing this. So I go back to like that moment is what I experienced, but it's like the shakes, like they come up. It's important in that moment to actually lean into the shakes, let it come into you, like let yourself like open up to it, because it's creating a message for you. In all of these sensations, they're messages from the body. It can then come in a form of an emotion. So you could feel nervous with the shakes is one. You could feel also like some fear that builds up with that. And there's a message in that, where I'll get to the reminders that can really help you to reinforce and confirm the messages that are coming through, of just being able to remind your body of some really important things. But that can come up with the shakes. It's just lean in, and then it'll pass. It depends on the timeline. Everyone's different for how long it takes. But if you suppress it, definitely for sure what is going to happen is the body's going to try to get louder in another way of communication, right? For leaning in, it depends on each person of how long that phase goes through for the shakes, especially with how intense the big moment is. But when you do that and you get the message, then the body's going to be like, okay, you got my message, and it'll then really lower the intensity of the shakes. They may still be there even as you're stepping up, but way less intense and more able to handle it. So that's number 3. Number 4 is actually an emptiness. This was an interesting sensation. This actually, was this the one? I think this was the one where I had a few moments of like, oh shit, is something wrong? This moment. It is the oh shit feeling, that like emptiness inside. And it can feel, I'm trying to think of like another way to imagine it. If you've ever looked down like a hole and you can't see the bottom, so like I think of a well is what I'm thinking about, where, if you don't know what the well is, where you're picking up the, water, bucket of water down there and you can't see the bottom. Or if you're in a cave and you're looking down, it's like that type of emptiness where it's just like, whoa, like this is an interesting sensation. So that could come up too for you. And it's again recognizing, okay, this is natural. And then continuing to take the action courageously, stepping in and noticing if there's any changes in the intensity of the sensation. But that, if I remember right, that can start in your stomach. I know for me, and again, these are different for everyone, but at least you're getting an idea of the sensations. And then that can expand out to the rest of the body. And it does feel like you're on the edge of that cliff almost. It's kind of like that type of teetering feeling that can come up. So again, moment to realize this is natural. The final one that I wanted to share is this ooey. Oh yeah, I got a weird name for this one. It's like the ooey gooey vibes. So it's very trying to figure out the texture of it. It's like silly putty. It's almost like a silly putty feeling in your body. So it's like these things that are like moving, and so like it's kind of like you want to just like even right now for a video, like I'm moving my shoulders, like moving them up and down, kind of like in this kind of like snake motion. It's kind of like a snake that's like traveling throughout the body. And that can come up where you're kind of like, ooh, like I want to get this off of me. And that sensation can, I mean, it could start in different places, but I always come back to like the stomach. It seems to be for me where that can start, is that like slithering feeling, the ooey gooey feeling, and then it can expand out. And then that can actually feel like pressure. So it can feel like pressure going to the edges of the body. And that can be where you want to like get out. So especially if you're inside, that might be where you're like, oh, like, fuck, I gotta get out of this like room or out of this house. And that is actually can be very helpful, is to get out, change your environment, create expansiveness to help out with that one, for letting it be able to move through you and to lean in. And remembering too that you always have the opportunity to lean out, to take a break. So that's something else where leaning in, be able to get that message that these sensations are providing, which usually is, hey, this is uncertain. I don't know if you're safe right now. And the body's like, I want to keep you safe. So like we're creating these signals to be like, are we okay right now? So when it comes back to then these reminders, I got 3 reminders I want to share with you. And these are reminders you can tell yourself during these moments that can help you, because for the emotions, what can come up is nervousness. It can come up with the sensation of overwhelm, this feeling of anxiety that then can come up. So you're having the uncertainty about the future, and you have the tornado of thoughts going. So that could be other ones that could come up. And also there could be excitement too. Nervousness and excitement. I learned this. They're both similar sensations in the body, but this was from someone I really appreciate, Eric Edmeades. I've talked about him before for this insight, where excitement is thinking there's going to be a positive outcome at the end of this big moment, and nervousness can be a feeling that there's going to be a negative outcome. So just by reminding yourself of the positive, that can help in the moment, that like you're doing this big moment, you got this, you're capable, and you absolutely are as a human being, you're capable to step into these big moments and be able to not hold back and just go all in that experience of showing up as you. So the 3 reminders to also help with those emotions that come through and the messages that come through is telling yourself, this is natural. Absolutely, this is natural. Reminding yourself of that, because you can get into those moments where, especially having experienced a lot of big moments recently, you can be like, oh shit, what the hell is this? And that can cause more of those tornado thoughts to start really spinning real fast in the mind. So you got to remember, okay, this is natural. This is natural. The other one to focus on is that this is temporary. Being able to remind yourself that all feelings, both, what could be considered positive, like the excitement, the fired up energy, and then the negative ones, the like nervous, the feeling stressed out, feeling like, oh shit, what's about to happen? Those are all temporary. So when you can repeat that with yourself, then you can remind yourself that, okay, this is the phase I'm in right now. This isn't going to be my permanent reality. Where I start doesn't have to be where I end up. So that can help you to move through it and to continue to lean in so you can get the message from it, and so that then it can get quieter for sensation for your body. And then the third one to be able to tell yourself is that, oh, wait, shit, here we go. So we got, this is natural. This is temporary. And the third one, this gets me. I tell this, I say this so many times, and I'm always like, what is that third one? This is natural, temporary, and the final one, here we go. Here it is. Ready? You're safe. You are safe. Creating an environment that you're in that you feel safe. You can look around the room that you're in and be like, okay, I'm in this room. I'm here. My body's here. You can point out a few, I've talked about this before for a technique, just point out a few different items in your room, like mirror, I'm looking at books, computer, and then saying, I'm safe. I am safe. This isn't life or death right now. I got this big moment. I'm going up for the presentation. Hell yeah. Fired up. But like, I'm going to be able to get off that stage. I am safe. You think about it for sharing your true feelings with someone close to you. You're saying these words, and then you can remind yourself, I'm safe. Like, I'm just going to talk. I'm just going to share this with this person. I'm going to, like, yeah, they may not have the best response, or they may have a great response. I don't know, because I haven't done it yet. Or if it's asking that person out, well, they're either going to say yes or they're going to say no. Right? Because you're going to do it in a respectful way. And you're going to ask them out. So when we can get back to like, oh, I'm safe and this isn't life or death, because our tornado thoughts can want to take that and run with it to try to pull you back to your old ways, that can help you to then show up courageously, continue to put the reps in, taking action of actually doing the damn thing for these big moments. And when you start stacking up these big moments for your life and being able to honor those commitments of going after them, then it comes back to reminding the body that you honor commitments. And when you listen to these body sensations and you don't suppress it, you don't push it down, you don't say like, fuck you, but you actually open up to it and listen to it and then be able to move through it, then the body's going to feel, you're going to feel this trust with your body on a deeper level, where then the body's going to be able to give you more of those signals to let you know when you're feeling really tired and hitting that fatigue, when you are starting to get to the point where you're hitting chronic exhaustion. It's going to let you know, your body, when you're moving towards burnout, so that you can battle the burnout beast and beat the burnout beast for the day, and to continue to show up for who it is you want to become and the vision you have for your life, and continuing to move towards making burnout extinct in your life. This is what can help you in that process, in that journey, is those 3 reminders, and then awareness of the sensations. And then despite those sensations, honoring them, but then moving forward, showing up, taking the action, putting the damn reps in, and doing the damn thing. So I want to give some space right now for you. You can take a moment if you like to close your eyes. If you are driving, please keep your eyes open. So this is the time to reflect on what the hell are those big moments for you. What's the one that's coming up that you're preparing for? Or what's the one that you imagine you would like to have, but you have that fear of like, can I fucking handle this thing? I want to remind you, as a human being, your capabilities, you have the capabilities to handle the challenges that come your way, the big moments that come your way. I mean, these are big moments of excitement. I mean, you got to get fired up for what's possible here. Being able to connect back to what's possible and the excitement of the abundance of what could come your way with these big moments, man, that's the feeling of aliveness. And yes, it can feel so overwhelming. And I had that a few days ago where I felt overwhelmed and I realized, wow, I haven't had this feeling in a little while. I need to create more of these big moments so I can feel more of what it's like to be a human being. And yes, you got to have the moments of taking a break, for sure. You got to have those moments where it's the cycles, the seasons, chapters. And you'll know when you've gotten too comfortable, where it's been like, I've just been getting by. And I really haven't been pushing it for being able to grow in certain areas. And it's kind of gotten boring. Like, if I really thought about it, it's kind of gotten boring. When that narrative is there, this is the moment to honor it and then also realize it's time to move forward. Time to go after those big moments. So what is that for you? Taking a moment to settle in, let it come in front of you. And it can be like a movie screen that pops up and you see it on that movie screen. You can either imagine it, or if you have your eyes closed, try to visualize it, let it come in front of you. And yeah, just take that time to be there with it. Who do you notice in there? What do you notice happening for you? You can even have yourself kind of go into that movie and notice yourself going through that big moment. Being able to see yourself of who it is that you got to become in order to honor that big moment and to be able to move through it. Who is that? What is it that's needed for you? Because it's there. It's there within us. It's just, we got to take those moments to tap into that, to reconnect, to let it flow. So as you continue to let that movie play out, let it magnify. Make it more vibrant, more intense of a movie, of seeing all the details that are happening. Connect to it, to the emotions, to the excitement, to the fired up energy, to the nervousness. And then remembering that excitement and nervousness are similar sensations. So like focus on that positive outcome of what happens if this works out. And then reminding yourself that you can handle this. You can take a few more deep breaths in and release out. Being able to come back into the space of where you are, letting that movie screen get smaller and smaller and smaller, moving away and away and away and away. Being able to take a moment, if you have your eyes closed, you can open them back up. Coming back into the space, being able to point out to a few items in the room just to bring your presence or bringing yourself back into present moment. So I'm seeing a mirror, I see clothes, water bottle. Settle on back. If you haven't heard it yet today, I believe in you. You as a human being are absolutely capable of going after these big moments in your life. It's as a reminder for a recap, remembering these 5 body sensations. There could be other body sensations I haven't mentioned, so you can even let me know. You can let me know your own experiences and be able to send me a message about them. But remembering these 5 body sensations, and then the 3 reminders. This is natural. This is temporary. I'm safe. And then when you show up courageously and go all out of not holding back of who you are for these big moments, celebrate putting the rep in. Because even deciding to go after these big moments is another moment to celebrate. Because it may feel small of making that decision, but then those small wins, they lead to these big wins and these big moments of actually taking the action and doing the damn thing. So at every opportunity you have, celebrate. Remind the body you want more of this for your life. You got this.